later. Hello, welcome to Rupal's Chatty Women. 3 topics that we'd love for you to get involved in the first show of the year. We've got 2 guests who'll introduce themselves in just a second. The 3 topics then: how well do we embrace change? New year, new you, all that sort of stuff. But on a local, everyday level, how do we embrace change? Is it something that you accept easily, or something that you perhaps struggle to cope with? We'd love your thoughts on that. Expectations on children when it comes to social media is a topic that we'll be discussing today, and spoiling your children, or perhaps your nieces and nephews. We've got one mum here. We've got the mystery voice, who also is a parent. Hello, mystery voice.
Hello.
She's going to be reading out your comments, so let us know where you are and your thoughts on some of the subjects. If you like what you see, please do share. So, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Nita Cora.
Hi.
You are a mum?
I am a mum, yes.
Yep. And hi, I'm Natalie Thompson, and I'm an auntie.
She's an auntie. I'm an auntie as well. Good New Year, good Christmas, good New Year.
Yeah,
Yes, very good,
fabulous.
Lots of rest, lots of food.
Yeah.
Lots of sleep, lots of drink.
Don't want to think about it for another year.
No.
I'm looking forward to our next break though.
Let's get straight on to the topics then. How well do we embrace change? New Year particularly, this is something that made me think about it. You know, New Year resolutions, etc. Don't want to talk about those because really we all break them, the majority. But when it comes to general things, it is that time of the year, I suppose, where we think, oh, maybe we can make a few changes in our lives. Maybe this is the time when, I don't know, I'm going to... get some new skills, for instance, when it comes to learning a language or something like that. Or maybe this is the year that I'm going to try and get a new job, you know. But what about those little things as well? On a day-to-day basis, we go through a bit of a mill, don't we, when it comes to our everyday lives? Are you one of those sort of people, needs, that will happily kind of think about doing something and go for it, or are you a little bit nervous?
I'm definitely nervous. I'm quite a routine type of person, and then if something gets in the way, then and I think it's different in different situations, isn't it? So I suppose it depends what the big change is. If I'm in control of it, then I'm okay. So like if I changed my job 2 years ago, I was in control of that. I wanted to do that, so I managed it. But I was just saying earlier on that I go to a restaurant and I order the same thing. What's that about? It's like yesterday, you know, me and my mum, we went, and my mum was like, oh, let's order different things. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go with it. I didn't like them. So that, for me, that was my wasted lunch. But that's just, you know, a minor example,
but
isn't
that's
it?
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's those little things.
The little things. It's
that,
funny,
you know,
actually.
are we even daring enough to try something new when it comes to a restaurant menu, that, you know, a regular restaurant that you go to, Natalie?
Well, I went to a restaurant last night and I did order something totally different that we don't normally have at home. So
And did you enjoy it?
And I enjoyed it.
Oh, that's
I
good.
enjoyed it. It was nice. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I think if I'm in control of it. I changed my job this time last year, and it was the best thing I'd done. I should have.
But that was
done
quite
it before.
a bold move, wasn't it?
It was a bold move because I left my last job without having anything to
Wow.
go to. So I was out of work for about a month altogether. So yeah, it was a massive decision after I'd been there so long, but it was just the right time for me to do it and to move on. And I thought, if I don't do it, I'm never going to do it. I'm just going to stay and be comfortable. And just do the same thing, get up, drive to work, come home, go to sleep, get up, drive to work, come home. So I changed my job.
But it's a bit of a risk, isn't it? Because you don't know the outcome, do you?
Definitely.
You really don't know whether it's going to be a success or not. And I guess you have to be a risk taker to some degree to do that.
Definitely.
And
I couldn't do what you did. So, like, actually, you know, jack it in and then not have anything.
Yeah.
It was only because I had a particular job. It's like, you know, in my job, that's what I do. I go home, you know, go to work,
It's Groundhog
get
Day,
up,
isn't it? It's
go home.
Groundhog Day.
You know, sorry
start
about that.
patting the
Yeah, I do
microphone.
that as well. But I find it. But whereas there's so many other skills that I've got that I could do on the side if I just take that leap. Do you know what I mean? But I won't do it. I'm really boring. Like that.
Have you thought about anything that you would like to do, but you just haven't quite got the courage to?
No, but I probably don't even let the thoughts come into my head, really.
Wow.
Do you know why? Because
Wow.
then if it comes into my head and I've got to do something about it and then I don't do something about it, I'm really bad, aren't I? I hate failing at stuff. I hate it. So then the psychology, I think this is the psychology. I've been trying to analyse it so I don't do it in the first place because I know,
So you won't disappoint yourself?
Yeah. Is that weird?
Wow. No, I get it. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are like that. You don't think about it. It's kind of you go with what you've got and what you know and what's familiar, and a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Go through life like that. Not everybody is adventurous. Not everybody has that sort of get up and go. I'm going to make the change. I'm going to do something different, or things that I actually want to do, Natalie.
Yeah, a friend of mine from school, she's obviously the same age as me, and she's got children, and they decided to actually take the kids out of school and sail around the world. And they went off for a year and sailed around the world, and they had she was teaching them about each different country, and they had stuff from school that they had to complete. And they went off and did that for 12 months.
That is amazing.
That is amazing, and she was so brave to do it. And she had a little, the kids had a little sort of blog that they had to do for the school to say, what they were doing and which country they were in and all that sort of stuff.
But just think how, what an sort of enriching education for those kids.
Exactly.
Do you know, that is.
And how much do you think, and this is very quickly, and Mystery Voice, you can tell us in just a moment's time if people are watching and if we've got any comments as well. So make sure you get your comments in. Tell us where you're watching from. Topic at the moment, how well do we embrace change? How much do you think that is also down to parents and the way they were, do you think? I think I'm not overly adventurous or good with change because my parents, weren't, and there was always that... And I don't, in not a bad way in any shape or form, but that's the way they lived, and life was like, you get up, you go to work, you find a job, and you come home, you go to bed, you get married, everything has a routine. There were certain expectations that I was brought up with.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think is true of you?
No, my mum is totally different.
Wow.
She's like, will go for something. She's very, especially when she was, younger, and she was widowed at a young age. I lost my father at a young age, and she was just out there. She just, it was a big culture shock for her because my father was the breadwinner, mum stayed at home, blah blah blah. But then all of a sudden that changed. She was out there and she used her skills. She wasn't educated to the best of standards, but what she did know, she used. And I think it's very different. So I'm very different to her. She was a risk taker. She put her fingers in lots of different pies, so that's quite interesting, actually, whereas I'm totally different.
I think probably me and my mum are quite similar, actually. But I think there were less opportunities, probably, for change in that generation as well. My dad's very much routine. He won't even go abroad. Whereas my mum, she likes to travel, and she didn't travel. I didn't actually take her away. Didn't actually go abroad until she was 60. And I took her for her 60th birthday on a city break, and she loves it. We go every year now.
Oh.
And leave my dad at home because he won't fly, or But I do think there are more opportunities for us now with different things. And I'm a great believer in fate. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You have these decisions to make, and you talk it through with your nearest and dearest, and you think pros and cons, weigh it up. That's what I'm like, and that's what my mum's like. It's like the pros and the cons. Do we, what's the best way of doing it?
Interesting. Are you one that embraces change, or perhaps a little bit like me and Neats here, who are a little bit more kind of non-risk takers? Mystery Voice, have we got people watching?
We've got loads of people watching, but we've had one message, which was happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you, whoever you are.
Eddie.
Eddie, thanks very much for that. It's good to know that you are watching. So the next two subjects really are about children. You are a mum, Neat. You are an auntie. We're both aunties. So I think we've got some experience in that sense. Spoiling your children. Now, this was an article that was in the paper about a couple who are very, very well off. I won't go into the details of it, but the basis of it is that they've got lots of money, they spoil their children, rotten, to the point where, you know, their daughter has about £5,000 just in spending money, £1 million worth of clothes in a wardrobe. Over the top, they've got the money, they can afford it, so why not? But they're also suggesting that, you know, they're going to teach their children to stand up on their own 2 feet in the long run, to help them set up businesses, etc. But it got us thinking about spoiling your children. I have to say, I, being the youngest of 4, was spoilt rotten, and I think it's had lots of effects as a result. Yeah, you know, I have lots of expectations from other people for things to be done and happen in a certain way, and perhaps I've not had to work as hard as, you know, my siblings. So it got me thinking about children generally. You're a parent, yes, of a 10-year-old. Do you spoil him?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this, and I'd like to think that I don't, but, you know, I think it's all relative, isn't it? And I think it depends on people's capability. I think if you... What is the definition of spoiling somebody? So are you going out of your way when you don't actually have the means and getting those things for that individual? Or do you have the means and therefore, you know, you want to buy them something? I mean, I'll give you an example. So Shivane is a big theatre fan and he loves Harry Potter. So Harry Potter tickets went on sale 2 years ago for the West End show, and we've been trying to get hold of them, and they're really expensive and you can't get hold of them, love the money. Anyway, we were finally able to get hold of some, and for all 3 of us to go, it costs an arm and a leg. So we got them, but that was his Christmas present. So he knew about it. That was part of his Christmas present. And I thought, but it's got nothing to open on Christmas Day. So we bought him a little something to open on Christmas Day. Now, if that's spoiling, then maybe that I do spoil Shivane, because he's an only child.
Natalie?
I'm the youngest. I've got 5 nieces and nephews. I probably did spoil them as well when they were little, but now that the youngest is 19 now, so and the oldest is 28, so they've all got their own money and they can go out and do their own thing. But yeah, in the early days I did spoil them. You know, if they're 21st, they had some money and, you know, that sort of thing. My sisters would probably disagree, but I don't think I was spoiled. I don't think I was spoiled. I think we were all treated pretty fairly. My sister's probably, the only thing that she'll probably raise is that she had to wait longer to have her ears pierced, and I was younger.
Do you think there's anything wrong with being spoiled?
That's what I mean. I think it's relative. If you're able to, and what is it, just about things, or is it also about things like, I don't know, discipline? And so, for example, if a child, I don't know, is misbehaving or says something out of kilter, and should be saying that, you know, not reprimanding them, is that spoiling? Because I think that is. I think that's, you know, if you're not going to say to them, you know,
this is us. Sorry about that.
Let's get distracted there. But if you're going to like not, you know, so reprimand a child or something, see, I think that's spoiling. You know, when there's an only child and they're allowed to get away with, I don't know, not cleaning up, not tidying up, not doing their homework when they're supposed to do it. You know, I think that is spoiling.
Not being able to, getting away with not having to cook and being part of the rota of things like that.
Were you not in the rota?
I was not really part of the rota, so I got away with lots.
No, I was in the rota.
And I think it's affected me. I mean, one of my worst things is cooking.
Is it?
So, you know, I mean, what does that prove? Yeah. I was spoiled, and I really dislike cooking. It's not one of my favourite things to do on the planet. Natalie, say something.
One of my sisters has got 4 children, and the other one's got 1. And the one with 1, he's an only child, the same, you know, like yourself. And you know, he wasn't spoiled. You know, yeah, they struggled to sort of to have him, but you know, yeah, my sister, you know, gave him what he wanted, but he was also taught to, you know, use the washing machine.
Exactly.
You do the washing up and, you know, do the chores. And my other sister with 4, you know, she just literally, they have to strip their bed themselves. They have to make their bed back up themselves and bring one toy down, take another toy away.
Mystery voice?
But isn't that about skilling the children up?
As well,
Because if you
as
don't
well,
skill the
yeah.
children
Yeah.
up, then you've kind of not done your duty as a parent.
Yeah, but I do think that those parents that probably don't do that, that is spoiling. Oh, it's all right, you know, they don't,
Yeah, I'd agree with
they're
you.
too young. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't need to know that. You know, that kind of thing. It's like I'll get Siobhan to empty the dishwasher. Dips won't, but I'll get Siobhan to empty the dishwasher just so that he knows. You know, it helps me as well, and but he knows how to do that sort of thing. So so I think that is spoiling when you're not getting your child to do certain things, or you know if they're like I said misbehaving or say something out of turn and letting it go. Oh, you know, it's like this phrase. I don't know if it's something in the Asian community, in the Asian culture. Oh, he's a child. They do that. That annoys me. No, if you don't teach them, how would that little child know what's right from wrong? You know.
There's also the thing about boundaries are really important, because if you don't have them as children, you don't have them as adults, and then they'll come and see people who are therapists.
Yeah.
Because they've got to learn those boundaries as adults,
Yeah.
because they keep making mistakes that are really basic.
Good point. Really good point. Have we got people watching? Can we mention a few of those?
Okay, we've got Jinder, Bav, Eddie, and the rest I can't see, so I can't.
Okay. Last topic then for Rupal's Chatty Women, the first one of 2018. Don't forget, if you like what you see, make sure you share, press the likes. There's loads of emoticons. We'd love lots of love hearts, wouldn't we?
We would.
Of course we would. The final topic then, expectations of children when it comes to social media. There's been lots of conversation about children on social media and people in general. You know, the good stuff, the bad stuff, but particularly about the pressure that this actually puts on young children to look a certain way, to behave a certain way, to take photographs with makeup on. And is there lots of pressure? Is Siobhan on social media?
Siobhan isn't on social media. He turns 10 in February, and he does keep asking, you know, when can I go on I don't know, Snapchat. He wants me to get Snapchat, and I won't, because I don't know how to do it anyway, but I won't do that. But you know, I was astonished when I've found out some of these things that happen on social media, and how I think there was a programme on, and I just caught a clip of it, and the girl was actually saying that if I don't get this many likes, I get really, and I'm like, really? Is that, you know, it's so alien to me, because I'm not in that world. I am on social media. I'm on Twitter, but that's because I follow people. I like to follow certain people and see what's happening. And I'm on Facebook. But I find that astonishing when a young girl says that I didn't get many likes for my picture, so I was a bit worried about, you know, what's happening, and that really scares me.
Because, I mean, what does that say, you know, to a
It's
child?
really
What
sad,
message is
I
that
think.
sending to somebody so young and vulnerable that the thing that they're concerned about is being liked, and whatever they say is being liked, and if it's disapproved, what's that doing to their emotional well-being?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of pressure for people to be on Facebook for young children. I mean, my niece joined Facebook without her parents knowing, and they'd said she could go on it at 14, but she was on it before, and I found her on Facebook. They're not on Facebook, and they won't join Facebook, but she's on it, and she just said to me, "Don't tell Mummy and Daddy," you know, straight away. And I was like, Mummy, she's 21 now, so but she's on all of them now. And to be honest, I think the novelty's worn off, and she doesn't do Facebook half as much as she does Instagram and Twitter. And I think Twitter's a bit more grown up, probably. A bit more, I don't know, it just seems a bit more grown up to me, Twitter does.
It's
than
more
Facebook.
news orientated, a bit more political.
Yeah.
But you
rather
know, there are
than
things like Instagram and whatever that is a real big thing for younger, and Snapchat. For younger people, where there is that pressure to be somebody that perhaps they're not.
No, I mean, I will admit, I did use the Snapchat filter to do my portrait, my photograph on my passport.
I won't ask.
So
we won't ask.
there's a little filter on Snapchat that just goes across when you
Oh,
do a selfie, and
really?
it takes out all the dark circles and all the marks.
Oh, I might
So
get
I
it
did
then,
that for my
Shireen.
passport.
But Neats, for you and you know, your son, who's 10, who's not on social media, what will you be teaching him about that, and how much will you be monitoring what he does on social media?
I think when and if he's finally on it, there will be a lot of monitoring. I was talking about it to him a few days ago, actually, because I think he saw that clip of that programme, and he did say, "Mum, that's really silly, isn't it?" So I'm hoping that, you know, by talking to him, that he has an understanding, you know, as to there's certain responsibilities when you go onto social. And I do try to explain to him as to why I don't want him to be on it at such a young age. You know, in the old days when we were growing up, the expectations were more around so-and-so's got a bike for Christmas, or, you know, and I know that's still there, but this is like it's phenomenal. The expectations of looking good all the time, and like I said, you know, people liking things and not liking things, and getting worried about if they haven't liked it and how many people have liked it.
I've got one more question for you, but Mystery Voice.
Ginger's written too much peer pressure now for youngsters.
Too much peer pressure.
Yeah.
Can I also, thanks Ginger, can I ask you very quickly though, you're on social media, so aren't you setting a certain example to
I am.
to your son?
Actually, there's a part of me that wishes I never went onto Facebook, because he's seeing the fact that I'm on Facebook and we'll take selfies together and I'll put it on Facebook. So actually, I'm not really setting a very good example, am I?
But it's, you know, everybody's on it, and if young people don't get on it, aren't they going to be feel slightly out of sync, not as cool as perhaps their friends are? There's lots of stuff that is brilliant and good on social media. You know, a lot of schools have websites and stuff on social media that they can access, or work. You know, as you're getting older, there's lots of valuable information also on social media
I think
that is available for children.
There is. I mean, each school has got their own page, haven't they? Their own Facebook page. There's different Facebook page for your different interests. You know, so I think there is quite a good element to social media. But then you've got the other side of it that we've been talking about, with the pressure of how many likes you get, you know, and all that kind of thing.
I think the only thing is to talk to your children, educate them as much as possible. It's inevitable, and like I said, there are some good things on there for them to pick out, you know, but it is frightening.
It's a conversation that no doubt you as a parent or you know, family member will discuss, or you can discuss it on here as well. Thank you so much for your company and the first Rupal's Chatty Women of 2018. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Nice. Thank you, Mystery Voice. You are allowed to speak now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's lots of likes and things going across. I said to her, don't speak so much, so she literally has stopped speaking, full stop. Can't win, what can I do? Look, thank you so much. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. And Natalie, we're not talking about musicals.
Why?
Look, I
They're
don't know
great.
Love
They're great.
musicals.